Hey, Mike, David, Manny, Mike, the other Mike. Just gonna wait for a couple more people to come in. A little early. If you guys have any questions, you can pop them in the chat box. We're gonna be going over prospecting over the telephone tonight. It's gonna be interesting. I'm also gonna teach you guys how to sell drugs, really, as part of the presentation. Pretty interesting. So that should be fun. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, just pop them in the chat box, and we're gonna get going right at 8 p.m.
Hey guys, if you can hear us, put something in the chat box for me, if you don't mind. All right. Thanks, Mike and Mike. Hey, also, if you guys have any questions about last week's presentation too, you can stick them in the chat box and I'll address them.
Hey, Lee, they got an email for this, right? I mean, I know they got
Yep.
emails from Webinar Jam, but all right. Well, it's
Yeah,
8 p.m.
Yep. Sent a
So
blast.
I'm gonna get going. All right, so we're gonna talk about prospecting. We talked about prospecting last week. Lee did with emailing. This week we're gonna do prospecting over the telephone. In my opinion, I'm kind of a hypocrite with this because, like I said last week, I never did the emailing thing. But in my opinion, you guys should do both. I mean, that's probably the best course of action for you. I've always been a telephone guy, so it's just I've been doing it for 24 years or however long it's been. It's been a while. So for me, it just comes natural, and that's where my time is best spent. If I do other things, it just takes time off the phone, really. So really, I think you guys should definitely do both because both work very well, and I think that you'll be able to find what works best for you if you do both of them. Right? If you do none of them, you're not going to see any results though. So you got to prospect. All right, we're going to talk about that. And we're also going to talk about selling drugs a little bit. Now, this is a little bit of a weird thing, but I do this exercise in this presentation because I want to show you guys how the process is always the same. So I take you through a whole bunch of different examples, and it's pretty cool. All right, so you got to take notes because I don't really write that much on these slides, but I talk a lot. So make sure you take notes, and you might want to watch this a couple times. Okay, so has anyone ever heard of this book, The One Thing by Gary Keller, founder of Keller Williams Real Estate, biggest real estate agency in the world? This is one of the best books I ever read. Okay, basically what he talks about is this question: what's the one thing you can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? Okay, he asks that question over and over again. He talks about other things too, the domino effect and goal setting to the now and all this other stuff. But this is the main theme of the book, right? What's the one thing you can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? And this is how he basically built Keller Williams into I don't want to say a small real estate agency because it wasn't really small, but he built it from where it was 20 years ago into the #1 real estate agency or real estate company in the world. He did it by focusing on this question. And what he realized is, if you guys look on YouTube, you'll find this and you'll see it all over the place. What he realized is that the one thing that they can focus on at Keller Williams, such that by doing it will make everything else easier or unnecessary, is altogether, not cold calling, prospecting, bringing in leads. That's the one thing they need to focus on. And if you go on YouTube, what are you going to see? You look up Keller Williams Real Estate, you're going to see one of two things, either testimonials from clients or people cold calling expired listings, right? It's one of the only companies in the world that just broadcasts their cold calls all over YouTube. Okay, and that's why they're the #1 real estate agency in the world. And there's a lot of examples of that. Okay, prospecting in every business. Notice we're talking about the telephone here, and that's what we're going to focus on. But prospecting, right? It's not just the telephone. It's knocking on doors. It's the telephone. It's emailing. It's direct mail, television, radio, podcast ads, Facebook ads, whatever it is that's bringing in leads to your business. It's the only thing that matters. The only thing. Nothing else matters. We get emails all the time. Well, I don't understand the asset thing, and how do I get your team to? I'm like, dude, you don't even have anybody interested yet. Okay, you have to prospect first. It's the #1 thing, and it really is the only thing that matters. This dude here, I got a funny story. I'm going to tell it really quickly because this is crazy. I used to do a podcast with an old partner of mine, and we had this guy booked for an interview for the show, right? So we do the interview, and for some reason, I just couldn't get the name right, his name right, Brian Tracy. And I called him Dick Tracy through the whole entire interview, and we never aired it because it was just like so ridiculously stupid. And I wasn't even doing it to be a jerk. I like totally just messed up the guy's name the whole time. But he says, Brian Tracy, keep your sales pipeline full by prospecting continuously. Always have more people to see than you have time to see them. So what the hell is he saying? Supposedly, this is like one of the best salespeople ever to walk the face of the earth, right? He wrote the goals book and everything else. So what he's saying is, don't focus on really closing the deals, right? Don't focus on fulfilling the promises. Focus on filling the pipeline. Because if you just focus on filling the pipeline, then everything else kind of just goes away. And this is something that I've been telling you guys since this is only the second week, but you're going to hear this over and over again. And you heard it in the $27 product or however much it was, the local Legion thing, right? You heard me say it there too. If you just focus on filling up your pipeline, then everything else kind of just disappears. You don't have to worry about anything, okay? Now, I'm not telling you guys to do this, but I just want to give you an example, okay? I'm not telling you should never do this, but I'm just giving you an example. Let's say I came up with, this is actually happens in the internet marketing industry all the time, okay? And I'll tell you about that in a second. Let's say I came up with a terrible roller skate underneath my couch, right? My daughter's roller skates underneath the couch. So let's say I came up with a terrible rollerblade and the wheels fell off every time and everything else. But I had like 9 million people that wanted to buy rollerblades, right? Would it matter that 40% of them fell and killed themselves and got hurt or whatever, or returned them or whatever it is? The answer is no. It wouldn't matter because I have so many people willing to buy it. Now, if you think I'm wrong, and I know probably most of you do, then just do a little research on Frank Kern, Mike Filsaime, Ryan Dice, Jeff Johnson, and all the other people that most of you idolize, and look at their refund rates. They don't care that it's 40% or 50% because they're doing a $4 million product. They don't do it anymore, but they used to do $4 million, $5 million product launches. Who cares if 50% refund? You're still getting 2.5 in your pocket, right? It doesn't matter. Now, I'm not saying you should do that. But what I'm saying is there's a reason why these people focus on prospecting and prospecting only. Now, in my opinion, they should focus on the prospecting, yes, but they have to provide the promises, right? A lot of those people don't, or a lot of people don't do that. And that's the wrong way to go. You have to fulfill the promises. I'm not saying to ignore that. But what I am saying is if you don't have the 9 million people to buy the roller skate, don't focus on building the roller skate yet. Find the people first, then build a roller skate according to what the people want. Very basic stuff. It's not that hard. Okay, so here's how to sell drugs. Ready? Take notes on this if any of you want to become like a cocaine kingpin or whatever. Number one, the first thing you got to do to sell drugs is you got to find a bunch of addicts, right? That's the first thing you have to do. If you want to become a drug dealer, and I've never actually tried this, so if any of you have tried this and it worked, just let me know. But I tried it in other businesses and it worked really well. So the first thing you have to do is you have to find a bunch of drug addicts. This is the best way to go, right? You could try to find a bunch of people that don't do drugs and say, here, try this, right? And then hopefully they become addicts for your sake. But that would be kind of dumb. It would be easier if you could just go to an area where all the people are that are drug addicted and just get in front of those drug addicts, right? That would be the easiest way to go because now you're in front of people who are already using the product that you're selling. So you have to find the addicts, you have to get in front of them, then you have to ask them to buy from you, right? This should all make sense. None of this should be confusing to you at all. This is the process, right? We have to ask the addicts to buy the drugs from us. Then what do we have to do? We have to find where we're going to get the supply and we have to deliver it to them, right? Very basic stuff. This is not anything difficult. You learn this in like 10th grade entrepreneur class. It's not a big deal, okay? How to sell houses. You find a bunch of people who want to sell their house, right? You get in front of the people who want to sell their house. You ask them to list the house. You find the buyer for the house. You deliver it. Okay? Again, very basic stuff. Are you noticing a theme? How to sell cars. Find a bunch of people with old cars. Get in front of those people. Ask them to buy from you. Find the car. Deliver it. I give this example all the time. When I sold cars for 18, 19 months, however long it was, I didn't run around the mall and say, hey, I'm a car salesman. Anyone want to buy? That would be stupid, right? What I did, and the reason why I got hired as a consultant by the dealership that fired me, is because what I did is I spent all my time on Craigslist, and the people that were selling their cars, I was calling them all day. I was like, hey, I saw your Honda on Craigslist for $4,500. I could probably give you 5. Bring it in. Let me look at it. When they bring it in, I would have it appraised, and I would try to flip them into one of my cars, okay? So what I was doing, I was getting in front of people with old cars who were trying to sell them. I was asking them to buy my car, and then I was finding the one for them, and then I was delivering it to them, okay? How to sell water. Find a bunch of thirsty people, get in front of the people, ask them to buy, find the water, and deliver it, right? It's not that hard of a process. Now, what does this have to do with prospecting and cold calling and stuff? You'll find out in a second. But who agrees with this? I want you guys to type in the chat box if you think this process is the right way to go. I just want you to type it in the chat box. If you think this is the right way to go, if you think any of these things are in the wrong order, tell me. But if you think this is the right way to go, just write like yes or one or me or whatever in the chat box. I just want to see what you guys think. Okay, so Mike, yes. Mike, another Mike, yes. Okay, so if the answer is yes, and I obviously wrote this before we came on here live tonight, so you know I'm not setting this up. But if the answer is yes, Mike, and whoever else wrote yes after I clicked off the screen, if everyone agrees, then why are we getting emails about SEO and website ranking? Why? Delivery is the last thing. So why is every support email that we get, what are the tags that I should put on the thing, and what kind of content, and how many articles should we put on the website, and what if the keywords are, find the people. Why are you asking about ranking websites and PPC and ads and everything else when you have no people? You just agreed that the process works that I just talked to you about, showing you 4 different examples, 5 different examples, including narcotics. But you're asking me about SEO and Lee about SEO and ranking websites. Find the people, and find the people first. It's step number 1, and it is always step number 1. No matter what you do, no matter what business you're in, I just showed you that 4 different examples, including narcotics. It's always number 1, no matter what it is that you do. And if you just simplify it down to that one thing where you just focus on finding the people. Again, remember, I think I mentioned this last week, just going from cold to warm. You don't even have to go from cold to closed deal, just cold to warm. And even if you're terrible, you're going to close 10% of the people you talk to. So it doesn't even matter. You just have to go from cold to warm. That's it. Find the people first. All right, so we're going to go through a script here. The script that we're going to talk about is the script that I used about 2.5 years ago, I guess, to go from idea to 43 clients and 25,000 salespeople. I'm going to explain this to you in a second because I know it makes no sense whatsoever. In about 24 days. And it should have been about half that time. The reason why it was 24 days and not 12 is because I got sidetracked with fulfillment before I actually got the deals done, which was stupid. But I kind of had to because of the way that the thing was structured. But basically, the idea was this. My daughter is 8. So this is actually probably 3 years ago because she's 8. So my daughter is 8 years old. And when she went into kindergarten, if any of you are parents here, you probably know that you get those packets. They come home, right? When she got into kindergarten, she started getting these packets home. And it was like wrapping paper and like chocolate cookies, like all this stupid crap that nobody cares about. And I looked through it and I was like, man, I got to buy something. Because I can't send my daughter back with nothing in the thing. She's got to sell stuff, right? So I got to buy something, but I don't want any of it. And I can get it so much cheaper at Target, Walmart, like wherever else, right? So I got this crazy idea that what if they did the same thing, but it was stuff that people actually wanted, and it was cheaper than what they could buy in Walmart, Target, and other places. So I started looking around. I started looking at different products and services and stuff that I could offer through the same type of deal where there was enough margin in it where the school would make money. So I did that for like 3 hours. Like I just said, okay, are there things that people want, need, and desire that I can get for cheaper than they would buy in Walmart, that I can give the school enough of a margin that they would actually do it, right? And I was like, yes, there's tons of different things. So immediately what I did was I started cold calling PTA. Well, actually, right after that, I hired an outsourcer to scrape PTA phone numbers and names all over the country. Then I called the PTA people. And what happened was, after about 3 or 4 days, I got, I don't remember exactly how many it was, but 17 or 18 people that were like, yes, I'm going to do that with you. That's awesome, right? And I got them shut down. But then I got a little nervous. I'm like, wow, these people are all saying yes to me. I have to start looking at logistics on how I'm going to get the products from China to me, get the packet set up, get the whole thing set up. So I stopped prospecting, okay? Then what happened was I continued on after I got all the logistics kind of worked out. I didn't do anything really. I didn't buy anything yet, but I got it all worked out where I could if I needed to. I started prospecting again, and in 24 days, I had 43 PTA presidents, definite yeses, for a total of 25,000 students that would be carrying these packets around, bringing them home, and selling my stuff. So basically, I created this entire organization of little MLM robots, because that's really the structure of the business. That's what it was, right? They were all working underneath me, and they were all feeding me every single day. I had all these 25,000 students that were going to be selling this stuff to their parents, and the school's going to make a ton of money. I'm going to make a ton of money because it's like a 300% markup from China, and I did it all with this script that you guys are going to see. The problem I ran into, and the reason why this business miserably failed about 3 months after I started it, is because the political process in the school boards is a nightmare. So I just couldn't deal with it. I mean, I had to actually go like present the idea in front of the school boards all over. It was like insane. So it didn't work, but I managed to close the deals, and that's really the important thing. Okay. And again, I should have realized that it was not going to work much sooner. And if I would have just focused on getting the people first, I would have known that a lot sooner. The script that you guys are going to learn tonight is also, it's been used in every business I've ever been involved in. And it's the first paper that I give all of my consulting clients and anyone that I coach on a one-on-one basis. The first thing I give them is this script, okay, like 90% of the time. If I'm working with a consulting client and they have a sales force, this is usually the first script that I give them. Right before an appointment booking script or anything like that, this is the first thing that I give them, okay? And it's called the validation script. It's very, very simple to get off. You guys get yeses all the time. There's no real rebuttal sequence whatsoever. And it's a great way to push into a cold market and get yourself known very quickly. And it also is a great way for this model to find out if you should build an asset inside of an industry in a city or not. Okay, so here's how it goes. Hi, name, this is name. So hi, Joe, this is Kenny. No company, no city, no nothing. Just, hey, Joe, this is Kenny, right? Person answers the phone. The reason I'm calling is because I have this idea I wanted to run by you quick. And to be honest, I don't even know if I could do it or not, But basically, I have a way to bring in leads for plumbers in Dallas, and I just wanted to see if I could send one your way. Again, I don't even know if I could do it or not, but if I could, would you be willing to serve one of them? Now, I'm going to go through that again because I'm just reading it like a robot, right? That sounded ridiculous. But I just wanted to get the words out so you understand what we're talking about here. All right? So that's the script. And here's what happens after you say it. One of three things. No, then you can hang up on them. I mean, I usually don't. And we'll go through some examples in a second. But if they say no, whatever. But okay, fine, whatever. They say yes, you're going to mark it off on a piece of paper, right? You're going to keep track of the yeses. If they say, tell me more, this is very common, right? If you do that script, one of the things that a lot of you probably think is like, oh, well, a lot of, people are probably going to ask me like, oh, well, what is it all about? Or how much does it cost or whatever? My rebuttal to that is, listen, to be quite honest with you, I don't even know if I could do this or not. And I would never want to mislead you and tell you the wrong thing. So here's what we'll do. If you're willing to serve one of the people, if I could even do it, then I'll call you back in a month or so with their name and information. Does that sound fair? Just like that, okay? So they're going to ask you for more information about it. I never tell them because number one, usually I don't know. And number two, I don't want to go down that road yet. I'm not trying to close a deal now. I'm just trying to get out of obscurity, bust through the coldness, and bring those people into a warm audience. That's it, okay? So here's how the script goes. It's very, very simple to say. And you could get this script off a whole bunch of times in a day without having to go down a long road, right? And that's one of the things that I find with a lot of people that I work with. Like even if you give them a short script like this, what happens is it turns into 15-minute phone calls. And that's not good. You don't want to do that. This is supposed to be like a 35 to 50-second thing. And that's it. Like if you're going over a minute with this, you're going too long. You're answering too many questions and you're talking too much. All right, so here's how it goes. Someone answers the phone. Notice they're not going to talk to me at all. I'm just going to get the whole thing out, and that's going to be it. Okay, so they answer the phone, and I'm going to say, hi, John, this is Kenny. The reason I'm calling is because I have this idea, and I just wanted to run it by you quick. And to be honest, I don't even know if I could do this or not, but basically I have a way to bring in leads for plumbers in Dallas, Texas. I just wanted to see if I could send one your way. Now, again, I don't even know if I could do it or not, but if I could, would you be willing to serve one of them? Okay, now that may sound choppy and stupid to you because you're looking at the words on the screen, but you want to make it sound like a conversation, right? If I call the guy, the reason I'm calling is because then you're an idiot, right? You sound like the guy from Visa, you're gonna get hung up on. So you want to call him and you want to say the reason for the call is I have this idea and I wanted to run it by you quick. And to be honest, I mean, I don't even know if I could do it or not, but basically, I have a way to bring in leads for plumbers in Dallas, Texas, and I just wanted to see if I could send one your way. Now, again, I don't even know if I could do it, so I'm a little ahead of myself, but if I could do it, would you be willing to serve one of them? Okay, just like that. It's very, very simple. And then if they say no, then you could do one of two things. You can go my way, and you can rebut it. I'll tell you that in a second. Or you could just say, okay, fine. All right, so if they say no to me with the validation script, what I say to them is, let's just go through it. Again, I don't know if I could do it or not, but if I could, would you be willing to serve them? Not really right now. I can't do that or whatever reason they come up with. So basically, John, what you're telling me then is you're a plumber in Dallas, right? Yeah, I'm a plumber in Dallas. Okay, so basically what just so we're on the same page, so we understand each other. You're telling me that if I called you up tomorrow and said, John, my friend Paul at ABC 123 Street has a toilet bowl exploding in his bathroom, you'd hang up the phone on me. And then I go silent. Yeah, I'll tell you that because I really don't have the time to deal with it. Okay, bye. See you later. I'll call someone else. Well, no, if it's someone like that, okay, good. I'll call you back in a month with one lead. Okay, so you can easily flip them around. And this also builds big confidence too, because you can turn no's to yeses with this. Very simple. With that one line. Okay, just repeat the process. So if somebody says no to you, you say, so basically what you're telling me is, just so we're on the same page, if I called you up, let's say the guy's a roofer, right? If I called you up and I had a guy in the middle of Dallas and he had 4 buckets in his house with rain coming through his roof, you'd hang up the phone on me. You wouldn't go and help him. And you just don't say anything. You let him answer. 9 out of 10 times, well, if it's something like that, but then you just flip them over and say, okay, I'll call you back in a month. That's it. Okay. Now, again, All we're trying to do here is go from cold to warm. We're talking about prospecting here, okay? You have to understand, prospecting, pitch, close, provide, preserve. We're not talking about taking money yet. We're not talking about closing deals yet, right? What we're going to do is we're going to get this pitch out to as many people as we possibly can, and then we're going to look at a piece of paper, and we're going to say, okay, we called Dallas 50 times, plumbers in Dallas 50 times, and you know, we got 35 people to say yes. And we called roofers in Dallas 50 times, and we got 10 people to say yes. So we're going to build a website in Dallas for plumbers, and I have 35 people that are willing to take a lead from me, right? I'm just giving you the big overall picture, right? I got 35 people that are willing to take a lead from me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build that site. A month later, I'm going to call those 35 people back. Hey, it's Kenny. Remember me? We're going to do the account open script another week, but this is basically how it's going to work. Hey, Kenny, remember me? We talked about a month ago, and I promised you at that time I'd call you back with one lead. And the guy's going to probably say, oh, yeah, whatever. He's probably going to lie to you and say he remembers you, but he really doesn't. And then you're going to send him the lead. Now, what happens is you have 35 people now that are charging $400 or $500 for plumbing services, and they all have your lead, okay? You have to understand that at least one of those people is going to close a deal off the lead that you send them, right? I mean, is that common sense? Most of the time, you're going to get about maybe half or 60% of the people that you give leads to are going to do work for the people that you gave leads to, okay? Out of the people that do work for the leads that you send them, you're going to close one of those people. Does that make sense to everybody? So if the plumber charges $500 for a service, you send out 35 leads, and let's say 15 of them actually sign up to do work with the plumber and pay the plumber $500, you're going to get one of those plumbers, the 15 that said yes, you're going to get one of those plumbers to rent your site from you for $1,000 or $1,250 or $1,500 a month, okay? But it all starts here, because without this, we're not going to send the lead to the people. We don't know who to send them to, right? We don't know who to talk to. There's no connection. They're still cold. We have to bring them from cold to warm first. All right, so if they say no, okay, bye, you can hang up, or you can hit them with the rebuttal like I told you. It's not on any of the slides, so you might want to write that down. If you have a question about it, I can go through it again for you just so you understand, because I know I talk fast. If they say yes, okay, cool, man, you know, whatever. I'll call you back in a month, and I'll set something up for you. Just check it on a thing and write down their name. Yes, one in the yes column. Good to go, right? And then that's it, okay? And if they say tell me more, then you say no, and you ask again. Basically, you want to do it in a nice way, like I talked about. You want to say, listen, usually what I say is, you know, like I said before, I don't even know if I can do this or not, and listen to the words. And I don't really, the last thing I'd want to do is mislead you in any way, shape, or form. So if you're willing to take the lead, if I can even do it, I'll call you back in a month. If not, that's fine too. So that's basically the rebuttal. If they say, tell me more about it, how much does it cost? What are you trying to do? Anything like that, that's how I handle it, okay? But you can also just say, I can't right now, and just hang up if you want. I mean, whatever. I'm trying to make it as easy for you as possible, all right? Because there's so many leads out there that it's like, you don't really need to battle anybody. I just like the argument, so I like doing it. But you don't have to. So for those of you who say this will never work, I know there's got to be at least one of you in here. I know there's not that many people here tonight, but there's got to be one of you that say this is crazy. That cold calling stuff. You know, I read Neil Patel's blog, and he says cold calling's dead, and this guy on Twitter says it's dead, and Gary Vaynerchuk's jabbing people and everything else. This stuff doesn't work. Well, then open your microphone and bring it. Because I can overcome every objection in the freaking world on my feet without a script in front of me with my eyes closed. Out of a dead sleep at 2 o'clock in the morning, got to talk to my wife, and I will smash you over the head. Now, I'm not bragging. That's just because I've been doing it my whole life, and it takes time to get to that level. Okay, but the stuff that we're talking about last week and this week brings people from cold audiences to a warm audience. And that is the most important thing that you can do in business, period. Nothing else even comes close. Product development doesn't matter. Customer support doesn't matter. The sales process, bringing somebody from warm to closed, really doesn't matter all that much. Okay, I'm not going to get into this too much. I talked to a guy this morning that's closing 10% of the people that he talks to on the telephone. His salespeople are. Okay, and he's making millions of dollars every single month, and he's pissed off because he's only closing 10% of the people. His sales process sucks, but because he's so good at going from cold to warm doesn't really matter. He's still killing it. Spent 6 figures a month on Facebook ads, and he doesn't care because he goes from cold to warm so well that his warm to closed really doesn't have to be that good. All right, and that's really what it's all about. Now, if you can get very good at generating leads, then obviously you want to improve your sales process, but that comes later. You don't want to be a master at the sales process and then have no one to sell to. That doesn't make any sense, right? You don't want to become a master product developer and then have no one to buy your product. That doesn't make any sense either. Okay, so you have to have the people first. So your goal is to do this 50 times in an industry/city. That's your goal. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to look at your numbers. You're going to say, okay, I called 50 plumbers. I just gave you an example before, but I called 50 plumbers in Dallas, Texas. 35 of them said yes. You're going to take 35. You're going to build the site, right? Or we're going to build the site for you if you want us to. But however, the site's going to get built, either you or somebody else. Build the site, get the leads coming in, and that could be through Facebook, local awareness ads. It could be through Google paid, the call thing, whatever, however you want to do it. It could be SEO, whatever it is. You get the leads coming in. Those 35 people each get 1 lead. You can assume that about 60% of the people, so maybe 20 people out of the 35, will actually end up doing service for the people that you send them. Okay, so between half and 60%. And out of those 20 people that actually provided a service and took money from the lead that you sent, you have to close 1. Even if you're freaking the worst salesperson, like my 8-year-old can close 1 of them. You gave them money already. I'm not asking you to close 1 out of 1. I'm asking you to close 1 out of 15 or 1 out of 20. It's really like stupid, okay? So you're going to do this 50 times in an industry or a city. If you get more than 40% of the people that say yes, you build the asset. It's just that simple. If you get 40% of the people that say no, what if I don't get, this is the first question that I knew everyone was going to ask, so I just put it in here anyway. What if I don't get 40% yeses? Then you don't build the freaking thing, man. I mean, listen, this is not rocket science. It's just basic stuff. If you don't get 40%, then you don't build it. You call another industry. 50 calls to plumbers in Dallas, Texas. That's just an example. But 50 calls to plumbers in Dallas, Texas should take you 2 hours. The script is 4 lines, 5 lines. And there's no battling. There's no fighting. It's just, dude, you want a lead or not? If it's no, it's no. If it's yes, it's yes, and I got to move on. It should be a minute, no more. Okay, so you should be able to do that in 2 hours max. So you can hit 5 different industries in 5 different cities in 1 week if you're working 5 days a week, and you're only doing it in the morning for 2 hours, okay? So if the answer is no, you don't have the 40% number, don't waste your time and money on building an asset and then trying to force it into the space. Just prospect more and find the right spot for it. That's the biggest thing. If you find the right spot for it, it's very easy to sell. You know, what a lot of people try to do is they try to build first, sell later. Go back to selling drugs. Go back to selling water. Go back to selling houses and cars, the examples. You don't build first, right? You don't go to freaking, what's the guy's name from Colombia with the show? I forget his name. But you don't go down to that dude. You don't go fly down to Medellin, Colombia and be like, listen, man, I need like 50 kilos of cocaine and then try to find the addicts. That's crazy. You find the people and then you match it up. Same thing with cars. If you're going to start a business selling cars, you don't go out and buy 500 cars at an auction. You find people first. You prospect first. Okay, you got to be in an area where people are going to come to that type of deal. So if 40% don't say yes, then start over, call a new city, call a new industry. What if there are less than 50? This is another question that I know you guys would ask. Here we go. Ready? What if there are less than 50 businesses in a city or industry? Call another city or industry. Like, again, it's not, you know, this is not difficult. Okay, so if it's not 50 people, then you just call a different place. Okay, so my last question, I think we have Q&A. Yeah, there we go. What if, insert whatever unproven theory that you guys might have. And we get, listen, you know, me and Lee, this is our first product launch together, but I've been doing this for a long time. Lee has too. I've seen like thousands of support emails, and it's always like, you know, the craziest stuff in the world. Like, you know, well, what if I'm selling sneakers and everyone I call has 1 foot? Well, then you're a moron. Then don't sell sneakers. Sell like pegs or something. You know what I mean? Sell a cane or whatever. And people have these crazy theories. Like, what if I'm doing SEO and the guy has 400 keywords that all of them are bad and nothing works and everything? You know, it's terrible. And then I get these support emails that say, I called somebody or I'm having trouble with my introduction because I keep getting hung up on. And then what they say is, I say, well, how many people did you call? 1. And he hung up on me. Okay, well, that's not a problem. Call 1,000. And if you get hung up on 500 of them, then you have a problem. Okay, so try not to come with us with theory. If something happens, then tell us. All right, so if you're trying to get an asset built after following this model, okay, and you're not getting the asset built the right way and you're using your own people, call us and let us know, or email us and let us know. If you're trying to get the traffic coming in and you're trying to use Facebook or local awareness ads or whatever it is to do it and it's not working for you and it's not happening, and you actually have tried it, you spent $20 on ads or whatever it is, then email us and let us know. But don't say to us, don't write us an email saying, well, I'm trying to build the asset and, you know, the Facebook thing just doesn't look good because there might be, you know, I might not have the audience, or no mights or like maybes or coulds or whatever. Do it. And then if you don't see the result you want, let us know and we'll help you. Okay. All right. Now we'll take some question and answer.
Looks like we got that question from Manny. Do you have a list of samples like Craigslist where to find the people?
You could use Craigslist. Most people on Craigslist are broke though. And that's just because you know, they're posting on Craigslist because they don't have money. If they had money, they'd be posting on Facebook they'd be using Facebook ads or whatever. But I mean, you know, Lee, we talked about examples last week, right? Manta. It's a great place to find leads.
Yep.
The
Trade
phone
association
book,
directories.
trade association directories, the phone book. And listen, I know this scares a lot of people. Maybe not you guys, but if I said this in a front end offer like a WSO, people would freak out. But you guys might be interested in this. You can spend $60 a month on a place like Lead Shack or whatever, or Info Free or wherever, and you could have all the leads you want. Right now, you know, again, if you want to do that, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But there's other places you can find free leads all over the place. You can just Google plumbers in Dallas and just go down the list. Right? I mean, it's not really that difficult. With this particular thing, though, just be aware of where you're actually calling. You don't want to call the first page or maybe even the second page. Because remember, we're going to be ranking a site and getting leads coming in and then renting it to somebody, right? So if they're on the first page already, it's not going to really make much sense to them. So we just want to be aware of that. Mike, that's pretty basic. I don't have any questions. That's good. You just got to start calling people now. That's perfect. What was that? Trade associations. We actually gave out a link last week. I don't remember what it was, but it's in the replay from last week, to a whole bunch of different trade associations that you guys can use. So how many people last week sent emails? Anyone send any emails and get results? Good or bad? Anyone want to try some calls with me? You can, we can open up your mic and we can go through the script.
You know, one of the things I always say, Kenny, is that the email that is never sent can never close a deal.
That's true. I mean, you gotta do it. The stuff that, listen, guys, I'm not a smart guy. Like, I'm a complete moron. The stuff that I do is very easy. It has to be, because I can't do like the technical stuff. I can't. I don't even know how to put a pixel on my page. And that's copy and paste. That's pretty basic. But when you start getting into like the checkout thing and everything else, I don't know how to do it. So the stuff that I do is very, very basic. It's just about getting in front of the right people and then bringing them from, like I said, a cold audience to a warm audience. And like Lee said, the email that isn't sent can't close a deal. The call that isn't made can't close a deal. The knock that doesn't happen can't close a deal. If you don't ever ask, the answer is always no. I didn't make that up. Somebody said that to me, but I don't know who the hell it was, so whatever. But if you don't ask the question, the answer is always no. And that rings true for everything, whether it's dating or business or whatever. Getting a discount on something, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. So you got to get out there and you got to ask. I like this prospecting idea. Yeah, it's pretty basic. But thank you, Manny. Manny, I have not started emailing yet. David, I sent around 500. I got some emails back. Okay, that's good. Does anyone want to open up their microphone and talk to me? If you're having any like specific objections or any specific problems that you're having, maybe I can help you, or Lee can help you if it's with emailing.
David, you had your hand raised to come on. Did you still want to come on?
Does anyone think that this
All right,
is
Kenny.
too basic?
Well, it looks like David wants to come on.
Okay.
I already sent the invite. So David, check your email. I think it is, and it'll send you a link to come on as a speaker.
Yeah, I also want you guys to, like, if anyone thinks this is too basic, then let me know. Because sometimes if something's really basic and simple, it gets overlooked, and that's a big problem. So.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of people, they'll hear something. I'm not, saying this is the case here, but when we when we teach something, and a lot of people think, oh, this is basic, or this is too simple, or it can't be that simple, or something like that. But that's the beauty of it. Sometimes it's in the simplicity, and the effectiveness gets lost in that. Like, emailing is really simple. Also, you send the email and engage people. That's really about it. But people like to complicate things. Basic is good. Thanks, Mike.
It's like I think I talked about this last week, the dollar store thing. Like if you want to make money, it's simple. Spend $50 at the dollar store, don't come home until you sell everything for $5 a piece. I mean, it's basic and stupid, but listen, I'm locking you out. Like all that stuff's got to be gone. You're not coming home until you have $250 in your pocket, and eventually it might not be the first day, but you will do it. And it's basic and stupid, but basic and stupid works. Look at the Fortune 500. The first 20 are all basic and stupid stuff. It's all oil, financial stuff, insurance, basic and boring. I go over this all the time. Basic and boring works. So who's that? David? What's up, David? What's going on, man?
How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Okay, so I was just building a list of potential buyers at this stage. Just getting around the base into a pipe drive or something, and then building the asset.
Yeah, you're going to prospect first. You might want to cut your video off so I can hear you better. Yeah, you might be a little clearer now. Try it again, because I didn't get any of that.
Okay, so basically prospecting first, getting a list of at least 50, 35 people that are saying yes to, receptive to wanting a lead, and then going out and building the asset. Pretty straightforward. What if we're like a little bit 1 or 2 weeks ahead of the course, and I've got some assets already built. I'm just like, I don't know what it is. I'm just like got fear that it's like not producing enough leads, or I'm just like, I don't know, I just don't have my pitch like down packed, or I just need some help overcoming.
Right. So if you already have an asset built, you can do one of 2 things. Either, I don't suggest this, but I'll be honest with you, I've done it plenty of times. Either you're going to outright lie to somebody on the telephone, and I'll show you how to do that in a second, or you're going to still kind of pull a little sneaky move, and then just not really lie to them, but mislead them a little bit. So here's basically how it works, right? And I have done this thousands of times. So here's how it works. The people that you call first, what we just went over, the validation scripts, right? When you call them back in a month, they're not going to know who the hell you are. They are not going to remember you. They're not going to know who you are, no matter what you send them, what you tell them. They are not going to know who you are. They're going to lie to you and say they do, but they're not. Okay, and I went through this in the stock business. We used to qualify leads, send out a package of information, call back a month later with a stock idea. Nobody knew who I was. So what I did is, instead of calling them and qualifying them, I just used the account open script on cold leads. So I would call people. I said, listen, they don't know who I am anyway. So I'd call people up and I would use the same thing. I would say, listen, I don't know if you quite remember me, but we spoke about a month back saying I had a package of information about myself and my firm. And I promised you at that time I'd call you back with one idea only. Here it is, grab a pen. And I'd go into it. And they would be the same. The ratio of me getting hung up on in that opening 10 seconds was the same if I called them a month before or I didn't. And I just cold pitched them like that. It was called the cold slam, basically, is what we called it. So you could go that route. But the problem with that is you're outright lying to people, and that's not really the best way to go. So the easier way to do it, so that you're a little bit more comfortable with it, is just don't use Lee's thing, because it's not really meant for this, but hire someone over in India or something and just have them like mass email 50 people in the industry. Just whatever the email says, I got a lead for you, call me now, or whatever, right? And then what you're going to do is you're going to call them 2 days later or 3 days later, and you're going to say, I don't know if you quite remember me, but I emailed you a couple days back, and at that time I promised you I'd call you back with one idea only. Here it is, grab a pen, and you're going to pitch them. So the email is not to generate leads, it's not to generate interest. It's just so that you can ethically lie like I just told you to do.
Okay.
Did any of that make sense or no?
Yeah.
And I know I went really quick, so you're probably going to have to watch that again, or you can just ask me questions if you want. But that's kind of how it works. If you already have the asset built, because you don't have a pre-built lead source yet, because the asset's already built, right? So you have to kind of generate that. You got to go from cold to closed in kind of not one shot, but you have to expedite the process a little bit. With the way that I do it, I have a month to do it. So I don't have to go from cold to close right away. I go from cold to warm, and then I go from warm to really warm, those 15 people that have actually spent, the lead bought from them. And then I go from really warm to 1 or 2 of them ending up fighting for the thing.
Okay, so once you've given them a lead, and you're giving them a unique lead. You're not sharing you're not like giving one lead to like 5 different people and they're all fighting over it, like one unique lead to one person.
Everyone gets one. Yep, everyone gets one.
Yeah. And then the process from there, like I'd take it, we'll go over that in a couple of weeks, but because I'm getting some leads, and I'm just in the process of like scattering them at the moment.
Right, you're getting leads to your asset, or you're getting the leads to sell the asset?
Yeah. No, I'm getting leads to my asset. And
okay, so the site is actually bringing in leads, and what are you doing with them when you get them?
At the moment, I've like got one person that I'm just like giving him free leads at the moment. They're not many. I've given him about 4 leads thus far.
Okay, so you need to call that guy and you need to say, listen, man. You don't have to tell me. It's hard because Lee, is the chat private? Actually, it doesn't even matter. What is the price point? What is the price point? I
can open it up though.
No, I don't want him to say what he does. So what is the price point? Because it doesn't matter what it is, but what is the price point that this person's selling at? Is it like a $2,000 thing, a $5,000 thing, a $200 thing?
Yeah, $3,000. Yeah.
Okay, so do you think in the industry that you're in, he probably closed 1 out of those 5 or 2 out of those 5? He brought money in from them?
He reckons he hasn't thus far. And when I spoke to him last, I don't think it's a very good prospect. He only closes 1 out of 10 quotes that he gives. I don't know if that's like I think that's pretty bad.
Yeah, it is pretty. Well, I don't know what he's selling, but it is pretty bad if he has qualified leads coming in, sure. But again, if he has enough, like I gave you the example before, if he has enough qualified leads coming in, then maybe he doesn't care. If he's getting thousands of leads every month, then he doesn't care that it's 10%. It doesn't matter. So I agree, it's probably a bad prospect. You got to take that and you got to scatter those around. You got to send them not all to one person, but you got to send 1 to each, 5 or 6 different people or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And really, just so we're clear and everybody understands this, you could just do it that way. right? You could just build an asset in an industry, get leads coming in, scatter them around, call people, try to flip them over. You could do that. The problem with doing that, though, is you don't know how warm the audience is until you've already spent the money, time, and energy in building the asset. If you do it this way, the way that I just showed you, or the way that Lee talked about last week, which is basically the same process, he's just emailing, I'm cold calling, right? But it's the same thing. If you do it this way, you find the temperature of the audience before you enter it. So I'm not spending money on an asset or traffic or anything here. I'm just calling these people up. Listen, I don't know if I could do it, but if I can, would you take one? If only 5 or 10% of people say, yeah, I'd do that, I'm not going to build it. But if I get a big response, then I go and spend the money, time, and energy in building it up. And then I basically just go in and I use what we're going to talk about in the upcoming weeks, which is the account open pitch, which I just went over.
Yeah, it makes sense now because to do it that way, because the 20 or so people that I've spoken to, at least 17 of them just reckon that they're too busy and too full of work. They just can't handle any more new business. I don't know. It's probably could be my pitch or the way that I'm.
All right, so go ahead. Go ahead. Go. Have at it. Hello. What do you want?
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm on. You gonna pitch me or no?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go. I just answered.
No,
Hello?
yeah. So, yeah. No, I was just saying the people that I've spoken to, yeah, they're saying to me that they're like full of work and they're so busy that they can't handle any new business. That's the biggest rejection.
But I know.
that I've
I'm
got.
asking you to pitch me. You just called. I answered. Go. Hello.
Oh, okay. Oh, hi. Okay, on the spot. Hang on a second. All right, so the reason I'm calling is because I've got an idea that I want to run past you, and I'm not sure if I can do it or not, but I have a new way to bring in some leads for this niche in this city, and just wanted to see if I could send one your way. I don't know if I could do it, but would you be willing to serve at least one lead that I send you?
Okay. Good wording. And I know you're from Australia, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good wording. Your tonality is horrible, though. And that's going to take time because you don't know the pitch yet, right? So that's going to take a little bit of time to get that out. But what you have to do when you say that pitch, you basically just read the words. Actually, I can't go back to it because I'm on a different thing. But you basically just said the words, right? But what you want to do is you want to say, the reason why I'm calling you is because I have this thing. I might be able to get these leads. I don't even know if I could do it or not, to be honest with you. Like, you see how I'm getting like animated with it?
Okay.
Like, I don't even know if I could do it really. You were just like, I got this thing. I could get leads. I don't know if I could do it. But that's okay because you just learned it. But just be aware of that when you're going through it, that if the tone is not there, they're going to react differently.
Yeah.
Okay, so it really, the words are very simple. It's 4 lines. You can learn that in 20 minutes. But work on that tone and that pace.
Okay.
But it was good for your first shot on the spot in front of everybody here.
So tonality, definitely.
Definitely, that's the only thing that matters on the phone. The words are useless. I mean, the words are just so that you can tell where you're screwing up and where you're not screwing up, really.
Yeah.
Because like if you're getting hung up on in the first line, then you know something's wrong in the first line, right? But really, you can go through a pitch. You could say this different words every single time. If your tone and pace is the same, you'll get the same result, pretty much. You don't want to do that, though. You want to say the same words every time. I'm just saying, if you don't say the same words every time and your tone and pace stay the same, then you're going to get pretty much the same result. But that's not the pitch you were using, though.
No, I was using. I wasn't using this pitch at all. No.
So how are you going about it? You don't have to pitch me again, but how are you going about it last? You can if you want, but how are you going about it before tonight?
So I was just basically explaining that I've got it was hard to like, they didn't quite get it, what I was trying to say, like that I had an up and coming ranked asset that's started to rank pretty fast and is getting leads, and they just didn't quite understand it. So yeah, I think my pitch was like absolutely awful. So I was just like getting.
You know what it is? Just from the way you're explaining it, it's a little much, right? I have a site that's ranking. I have leads. You don't really have to go into all that stuff up front. Now through a sales process, again, you can do that. But think about this, right? If I come to you and I've never done anything before for you, you don't know who I am, it's a cold call, and I start talking about ranking sites, bringing leads in, and it's going really well and all that stuff, your guard's up because I'm selling you something, right? But if I go and I send you a client that paid you $500, then I start talking about ranking sites and bringing leads in and all that stuff, I sent you $500 already, so you better put that shield down or I'm going to bust right through it because I just gave you $500. You know what I mean? It's a totally different interaction because I've already made the guy money. So he's going to be very receptive to my message.
Definitely.
I'm not saying you can't do it out of the gate because you can. You just got to be a lot stronger and you really got to be punching people in the face to do that. And it's fun. I actually like doing it that way much better, but it takes a lot more skill and a lot more time, and most people don't like doing it that way. All right, so what else? I'm going to see, is there anyone else that wants to come on? If anyone else wants to come on, I will open you up. And if you have any other questions, David, you can let us know.
Yeah, Cindy said she wanted to come on, and I sent the link. Cindy, if you're still there, go ahead and join us using the speaker link.
I think we gotta, David, thanks. We gotta get David off. There we go. David's gone. I think you're only allowed one at a time, right? Here.
I don't think so. We'll see, though.
I think Cindy was that little beep, Cindy coming on?
No, that's probably me.
Oh. He was
Okay,
good. I
Mike.
like David. He
Yeah,
came
that
on
was
and
good.
He pitched. That's good. He's a good guy.
Yep, David's doing well. All right, Mike, I'm going to invite you also. So check your email for the link and come on when you are able.
And Cindy too, we sent you out one as well. Let me get that. There we go. Get that script up. Because if you guys come on and you want to pitch, I just want to whoop.
Good. No, I enjoyed that.
I just closed out of the here we go. All right, so now that's on the screen. So if you guys want to pitch, now you have the script on there. Cindy, you can talk on a laptop. Yes, you can. Definitely can. It would help if you had earbuds or a headset or something, but any computer works. If you hear, you can do it. No problem, David. Mike, you wanted to come on as well, then we sent you the thing. So whenever you're ready, just hop on in. And if anyone else has any questions while we're waiting for one of those two to hop on, you can shout them out and we'll answer them for you. And guys, just so you know, next week when we come on, expect to try to come like any of you who actually want to make money with this stuff. Try to come with a microphone and a headset or earbuds or something, because the way that you make money doing this stuff is pitching people. Even if you do email stuff, we talked about last week. You got to get on the phone at some point, so you're gonna have to learn how to do it. So this is where you're gonna learn. Is that Mike that just came on? Yeah, Mike, just shut your video off when you get a chance, because you're going to get real choppy on the audio if you don't.
Hey guys, the other thing I'm willing to do, if you go back through last week's lesson and you want to compose your own emails, and if you want to get on here, and we'll put you on the hot seat and I'll critique your emails live on the spot, we can do that as well.
Bring them next week. That's a great idea too, because I think that's, I said before, words don't matter on the telephone. They really don't. But I think in an email, like, you'd probably agree that like every single word is pretty important.
Absolutely. Yeah,
All
those
right,
hot
Mike,
seats are always
what's up,
fun.
man? You're here. Can you hear Mike? I can't hear him.
I cannot hear Mike.
All right, so yeah, if you guys next week, if you want to bring emails, then Lee will critique them for you. And the other thing too, like I said, if you guys have, all of you should have some sort of audio equipment, whether it's a headset. I have a headset that I can walk around my house with, but whatever you have, a headset, earbuds, whatever, you should come on and open up your microphone so that you can get some telephone work as well. Because you are going to have to do both. Mike, we can't hear you, man, so I'm going to return you as an attendee. And I'm going to like re-invite you so you can come back on.
Yeah, we're not just, for what you guys get in this course, we're not just giving you training. This is implementation. And that's where you're going to make the money when you start implementing. It's not in the training. So if you guys want to interact with us, we're here. And remember, I mean, we charge thousands of dollars for our students to interact with us one-on-one. So take advantage of this.
Yeah, and you know what? Training is a waste of time, to be honest with you. I mean, I like to tell people, like, I believe, I could be wrong about this, is just my opinion, but I believe that everybody has the knowledge they need to make $1 million a year. And I also believe that everybody has the knowledge they need to be the weight and shape that they want. I believe everybody knows what they should do. The problem is nobody does it. That's the issue. It's not that you don't know you shouldn't be eating chips and sitting on the couch and watching the Kardashians all night. You just don't get up and move and eat lettuce all day, right? You know how to do it. You just don't do anything. So that's the big issue. It's not that you don't know what to do, and that's really what training teaches you, right? What to do. Like Lee said, we're all about implementation. You have to be able, or willing, not able, you have to be willing to do what we're talking about here. And every one of you is able to do it. Because again, it's really, really simple to do. We're not asking you to do anything difficult. Maybe uncomfortable at first, but it's not hard. I mean, the script that's running is pretty easy, and at least emailing stuff is easy too. All right, Cindy's mic isn't working. Let's see if we can get Mike on. Was that Mike Dumb or Mike?
Yeah, no, it's Mike Dumb.
All right, so
all right, Mike has switched microphones. All right, Mike.
Yeah, whenever you're ready,
back on.
Just say something there, Mike.
Something that might help, guys, if you're not able to, or if we're not able to hear you, if you hover your mouse at the top of above the word validation, there's a gear icon. I don't know if you guys have that or if it's just us. Do you have that? Well, I guess you're a presenter too. But there's a way. There should be a way that you can change your settings using that gear icon. So if you click on that, it'll tell you what microphone you can select and what speaker you can select. So it could be that Webinar Jam's got you on a microphone that's not working, or that's not configured or something. So you'll have to select the right microphone.
Yep, I do that all the time. Like I'll have my computer mic, or I'll have my headset selected, but it's not hooked in.
Exactly.
And then nobody can hear you. You're running around talking and nobody can hear you. That's why we always ask at the beginning if everyone can hear us. Yeah, Mike, you're not working, buddy. Sorry. All right, so if anyone else wants to talk, that's all right, man. If anyone else wants to talk, just raise your hand and we'll get you in. If anyone has any other questions, let us know. I'd love for you guys to be asking more questions. Like, what if they say this? What if they say that? What if this happens? I mean, really. Because this is, again, it's not hard to do. It's pretty easy to do, but if you're new at it, then you might have, you know, some questions about it, and we'll be able to help you. We're not going to be able to help you on, Friday morning when you're calling lawyers in Idaho, but we can help you now.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the reason why people don't start calling or don't start emailing is because they're afraid of all the different objections that might come up, even though they haven't heard it yet. So whatever paranoia is running through your head about all that, go ahead and ask it.
Right. So Manny, can you come on live with us or no? If you can, then I'll just answer your question. But if you can, then I'd like to fight it out with you, if you don't mind. Okay. So Manny's question is, what is your comeback when they say no? So there's two things that you could do when they say no. You could just hang up the phone and move on to somebody else if you want to, or you can give them a very graphic example, and that's what I like to do. But I like to, you do it in a nice way, right? You don't try to act like a jerk. You do it in a nice way. So if I'm calling a plumber or a roofer or whatever, I call the guy up and I give him my little thing, and he's like, "Nah, I can't do that." And I say, "So basically, what you're telling me is," that's the first part. And then I cut myself off and I say, "Just so we're on the same page," that's the second part. And then I say, "If I were to send you someone with huge graphic example, you would say no to them." That's what I say if they say no. Okay, so here's basically how it works. If I call a plumber and I say to them, give them my little 4-line thing there, a 5-line thing there, and they're like, "No, we can't take any more leads." I say to them, "Okay, so basically what you're telling me is, just so we're on the same page, if I called you up right now with a guy inside your city that had a broken toilet bowl with water all over his entire house, and he's like kayaking through his kitchen, you'd hang up on the guy? You wouldn't help him?" Okay, now again, it's the words, right? That's important, but it's the way that I'm saying it. You see how I'm not saying to him, if your toilet bowl exploded and you had a guy in the kitchen with, hip boots on walking through his thing, you wouldn't help the guy? I'm not saying it that way. It's different. Okay, so you have to make sure that you work on how you're saying the words, because that's the most important thing. But that's the answer to your question there, Manny. Okay, David. So if they ask anything else on the phone, like what services are you offering? I'm not offering a service, David. How much do you charge? I'm not charging anything. How much are you charging in the future? I'm not charging anything. We just close them down and go back to the original pitch. Yeah, no matter what they say, it doesn't matter what they say. And again, any one of you can open up your microphones right now and you can say whatever you want to me. It doesn't matter what it is. I've heard it all hundreds or if not thousands of times. So it doesn't matter what it is. I can overcome anything. Now, a lot of the times, you guys are sitting here asking me for rebuttals and everything. A lot of the times, I'm not going to think of a rebuttal until you actually say it. That's why it's easier for me. Manny's coming on now. Manny, can you hear us? Can you talk? Can you say something? Perfect. Webinar Jam's awesome. Go buy it, webinarjam.com. Okay, so basically what I'm saying is a lot of times you guys are asking for specific rebuttals and what if they say if this or that. I'm not going to be able to think of what to say until I actually get hit with it. That's why I keep asking you guys, like, open up your microphone and throw the objection at me so I can overcome it for you live on the call. This way, tomorrow morning, you can re-listen to it and you can get the information. And right now you get the information as well, but you can listen to it a couple times. Now, Manny, if you can say anything, talk. I don't know if we can hear you or what, but just try. Cindy doesn't have a microphone, just the one on the laptop that doesn't work with Skype. Cindy, you got to get one. You got to get like earbuds or something. If you have an iPhone, you have the earbuds. The new one might not work with it because they took the thing out, but the old ones do.
Yeah, I don't get this. That's like 3 different people that have technical difficulties trying to get on the mic here.
Yeah, you know what's funny? The guy that's halfway across the world came on and sounded clear as ever once he shut his video off.
Hey, Manny, same thing with you, man. If you have a gear icon at the top of the screen, if you hover your mouse above the word validation, it might be above the letter O. If you click on that, I don't know if you have it or not, but if you click on that, and then the second drop-down box is the microphone selection. So you can select, you know, default microphone or whatever, microphone, high definition audio. Try the different ones.
Cindy, you said your microphone does work with Skype, so you're coming on or no? Because if you're coming on, we're going to put you on right now. David, it's 1 p.m. here, Thursday the 12th. I'm going to do 50 calls by the end of the day. It's good, man.
Well done.
It's not going to take you that long. The script is very easy, and it's just yes, no. I mean, it's not like, you know. Now, with that said, when we get into the further training, when you're actually selling stuff to people, it's not going to be a 30-second call anymore, you know. So it will get longer as time goes on, but right now, just to get started, this is all you got to say.
Yeah, Cindy, that really ought to work when you come on here. Maybe we'll use Zoom next week. Manny, you're still on with us, man, so keep trying.
Yeah, Zoom
Somehow
was really good last week, man. I like that a
Yeah.
lot.
We had it backwards, Kenny. We should have had Zoom for the call one and Webinar Jam for the email one.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. That is true.
But yeah, we'll try Zoom next week. So I'll put a link on the email or in the members area, and I'll send an email about it because it's going to be a different link than what you guys entered here. But yeah, we'll try it, provided I'm not traveling.
Wait, why does it say that Manny is muted?
I don't show that he's muted.
Yeah, I see here his little microphone in the corner is on mute. I don't know. I will have it ahead of time for next week. Perfect. I started using my computer speakers when I tried to move to my headset. It didn't work. David's going to do 150 calls today. David, you should do more than that. Do 100. It's only 1 p.m. I'm just kidding, though. That's good. Cindy, if your thing works with Skype, then we're going to bring you on. So let me know.
Then let's try it again. I mean, Cindy, if you want to try to come on and, you know, see if we can mess with some settings, and while Manny's still on, and hopefully you're trying to mess with settings, Manny. Also, make sure on your computer, on your laptop itself, that your microphone is not muted. So you can mute it at the Webinar Jam level or Google Hangouts level, and you can mute it at your laptop level. So make sure both of them are open.
Yeah, and some of them too. If you have like an external deal, you can mute it on the microphone itself. It's like mine, I just have a little button by my ear. I just click that button and I'm on mute. So you got
Exactly. Yeah, I got one too.
You got to check 27 different things to make sure it works.
All right. Hey, Cindy, shut off the video for us so you can.
Okay.
All right, we can hear you. But
Oh,
yeah,
good.
go ahead and put. So up top, put
How do
the
I shut
video
off
on
the
mute.
video, or I have to do it?
Let me see. Yeah,
Oh,
you'll have to do it, just because it'll help with your bandwidth. Not that we don't want to see you, Cindy.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to turn off the video.
That's all right. You actually sound fine with the
All right.
video.
Yeah, you sound good. Let's go.
Okay, great. Diddling. Hi, Kenny. This is
Yeah.
Cindy. The
What's
reason
up,
I was
Cindy?
calling is because I have this idea. I wanted to run by you quick. I'm not sure if it'll work. But
Okay,
basically,
stop. Okay, when you say I'm not sure if it's going to work,
okay.
watch. Answer the phone.
We should
Ring,
start
ring.
over again, or
No. Answer. You answer. You answer the phone.
oh, okay. I'm Kenny, or I'm Cindy. Hello.
Hi, Cindy.
Yes.
Cindy, this is Kenny. The reason why I'm calling you is because I have this idea I want to run by you real quick. And to be honest, I don't even know if it's going to work or not, but basically, I have a way to bring in leads for plumbers in Dallas, Texas. I just wanted to see if I could send one your way. Now, again, I don't even know if it's going to work or not, but if it does, would you be able to serve one of them?
Um,
Now, you see
yeah,
how I'm
probably.
saying, I'm not even sure if it's going to work or not. It's not, I don't know if it's going to work. I'm not even sure if it's going to work or not. The way that I'm saying it is different.
Let me try that.
Yeah, go for it. That's why I didn't mean to be rude, but that's why I stopped you right in the middle, because I just want to address point by point.
Sure. Okay. Hi, Kenny. This is Cindy Mantini. The reason I'm calling is because I have this idea I wanted to run by you quick. To be honest, I don't even know if I can do it, but basically I have a way to bring in leads for family law attorneys in New York. I just wanted to see if it works, if I could send one your way. I don't even know if it would work, but if I can send them to you, would you be able to handle one, serving one of them?
Yeah, sure. Okay, let's just go with yes on that one. That was good. That
Okay.
was good for your second time through. You know, you got to say this pitch 100 times to yourself. But yeah,
Right.
that was good for the first time through. Let's do it. Let's do it one more time, and I'm going to give you a no at the end.
Okay.
It's easy. It's
Uh,
fine.
Hi,
Kenny's
Kenny.
Law Office. How can I help you?
Hi, Kenny. This is Cindy Mantini calling. The reason I was calling is I have this idea I wanted to run by you. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but basically I have a way to bring in leads for family law attorneys in New York. And I wanted to see if I could send one your way, would you be able to service a lead that I could send to you?
You know, we're real busy.
Really, Kenny? Well, I'm just wondering. So if I could send you someone who's getting divorced and maybe has $5,000 or $6,000 to spend on it, you really wouldn't have time for a client like that?
No, don't go. First of all, it's okay that you made this mistake, but don't go
Yeah, I'm
money.
sorry, I don't remember what you said
It's okay.
verbatim, but
It's
something like
okay. No, it's all right. It's all right. Don't go money.
that. Okay.
Right. You were fine until you said if somebody has $5,000 or $6,000 to spend. What you said was fine until that point. Because now what are you doing? Now you're getting the guy to think, well, how much is he going to charge me for this?
Okay.
You don't want. There's no money discussion. Okay. Now what I would say if the lawyer says no is I'm going to say to them, remember, it's the most important thing is the graphic example. Okay. So what I'm going to say to a family law attorney is I'm going to say to them, so basically what you're saying is, just so we're on the same page, if I was going to send you a woman with 3 kids who was just kicked out of her house because her husband's cheating on her, you would throw her out your door and you wouldn't take her as a client?
Okay.
See how it's a real life graphic example of what he does for a living?
Okay.
I want to make it real for them. Okay, but again, you were fine until you said, so you're telling me if you had a $5,000, you don't want to go money yet. Because first of all, you don't know. $5,000 deal to that guy could be nothing.
Right.
Right. And the second thing is now he's thinking, well, she's talking about money already. What is she going to charge me?
Okay.
I know she's not doing this because she's nice. She's doing it obviously for money at some point. So, they're already thinking about that. So don't go money. It's just graphic example. And then you don't even have to ask them again. You just say, you mean to tell me that you would throw that person out? You mean to tell me you'd hang up on that person? Okay, so
Okay.
try it again. No, I can't do that. I'm real busy right now.
So Kenny, you mean to tell me that if I had a woman who was getting kicked out of her house with 3 kids, and needed your help, that you wouldn't have time for her?
That was perfect. That was really good. And look, there's Lee has been on my training calls for like 4 years. He knows I never say that. That was perfect.
No,
That
you
was
made me
really,
feel
really
it. So
good. Yeah, that was
Yes.
really good. Now, here's your problem, though. This is the one issue that you might have. When you're, I don't want you to become surrounded by those words. You have to know the process, right? So I don't want you to go out tomorrow or whatever, call 500 attorneys and just say, if I had a woman that got thrown out of her house with 3 kids and her wife punched her in the face, would you, you got to be able to understand the process so that you could take the phone and pick up a plumber, same process, dentist, same process, roofer, same process, lawyer, and you could just flow right through them all. Because it's not about the woman getting thrown out of her house. It's about basically what you're telling me is, just so we're on the same page, graphic example, you'd hang up on them? Really?
Yes.
It's the process, right? So you need to be able to flow through. But the one that you just did is perfect. If you do that for every industry that you talk to, you're going to turn no's into yeses really quickly. Okay,
do
so
I try
now
to do a plumber or try somebody else or
go ahead.
what?
Yeah, you could do whatever you want. Go ahead. If you want to pitch me again, go ahead. Kenny's Plumbing Service. We fix pipes. How can I help you?
Hi, Kenny. This is Cindy. The reason I was calling because I have this idea I want to run by you quick. To be honest, I don't even know if I can do it. But basically, I have a way to bring leads in for plumbers in New York. And I wanted to see if I could send one your way. I don't know if I can do it, but if I could, would you be willing to serve one of them?
I'm real busy right now. I don't know if I can.
Really, Kenny? If I have people whose toilets are exploding, you wouldn't be able to take their call?
I guess if the toilets are exploding, I'm going to have to, right? I mean,
Not
really,
as an
I can't leave
example,
them. They have to go to the bathroom. So yeah, I guess if that's the case, if it's an urgent matter, then yeah, go ahead. I can take one of them. Okay, so that's good. So let's do that again. And I just want to I want to just hit you with the what is this about? I'm going to give you a lot of actually, you know what? You want to give me problems first, so you can see how I handle it, and then I'll give you problems.
Okay, so you'll call me and I'll be the guy that says he's busy.
You could be whatever you want to be.
Okay.
Okay, so go ahead and answer.
Hello,
Hi, is this Cindy?
this is Cindy.
Hey, Cindy, this is Kenny. The reason why I'm calling you today is I have this idea. I just wanted to run it by you quick. To be honest, I don't even know if I could do it or not, but basically I have a way that I could bring in leads for plumbers in Dallas, Texas. I just wanted to see if I could send one your way. Now, again, I don't even know if I could do it, but if I could, would you be willing to serve one of them?
Well, I don't know, Kenny. I'm really busy. I have a guy that I get some leads from.
Okay, so basically what you're telling me is, just so we're on the same page, if I was able to send you somebody, their toilet bowls were exploding, they had floods all over their house, everything was crazy, you would just throw that guy out?
No.
Okay, so then you would be willing to take one, right?
Yes.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to call you back in a month with one lead. Guy works out for you, great. We'll talk more. If he doesn't, then we'll part as friends. That sound fair?
How much is this going to cost, Kenny?
To be honest with you,
I have this guy. He charged me a lot of money, and that's all the budget I have for that.
right. To be honest with you, Cindy, I don't even know if I could do it or not. So I don't want to mislead you in any way, shape, or form. So it would be fraudulent of me to talk price because I don't even know if I could do it. So how about we do this? How about I send you the one lead, and if that works out for you, if I could do it, then we'll talk further then. Does that sound fair?
That's fair.
Good. I'll call you in a month. Goodbye. You could be harder if you want. I mean, whatever. Like it's real, right? When you pick up a phone, what happens? Did you ever cold call before?
Yeah, sometimes they're nice. Sometimes they just hang up.
Okay, so here's how it's going
I
to go.
don't get into big rebuttals like you do because I don't have all the places to go that you do. So.
Right. No, that's okay. That's okay. That's going to come with time. So call me, and I'm going to show you how it is in the real world. So go ahead, call me.
The Ling.
Yeah, this is Kenny speaking. How can I help you?
Hi, Kenny. This is Cindy. The
Who?
reason I was calling.
Oh, wait, hold on. Who is this?
My name's Cindy Mantini. I have this idea that I wanted to run by you.
Where are you calling from?
I have this process that I wanted to talk to you about, Kenny.
Right.
I'm Cindy. I'm from ABC Marketing.
Okay.
The reason I wanted
Where are you guys located in New York?
only, for just one reason, is I had this idea I wanted to run by you. To be honest, I don't even know if it's something that'll work, but basically I wanted to let you know I have a way to bring in leads for family law attorneys in New York. I have these leads. I wanted to find out if I sent you one, if you'd be able to service it.
You have them?
I
just said
I
you
found
have,
a
but
way
when
to
can-
get leads, and
right?
like I say, I really don't know if it'll work, but if I get these leads, can I send you one? I wanted to
Well, I
find
mean,
out if you have time to service one of these
I
clients.
don't even know who you are.
My
So why
name's
would I
Cindy.
do that? I mean, I
I'm
have
calling from
places in the yellow
ABC
pages. I have
Washington, D.C.
right, yeah, but I have yellow pages ads. I have billboards with my face on it. People love me, so I have billboards all
Yeah,
over the
Kenny, but
highways.
if I found you someone a wife who's getting thrown out of her house with 3 kids, are you telling me that you wouldn't have time to service these people? This lady?
That's very good, Lee. She's good, Lee. That's really good. Now
I
I think
love it.
yeah, I think you might have you steamrolled a little bit, but I'd rather have someone steamroll than have someone get beat up any day of the week. I mean, you just bowled right through me, which is fine. But that was much better than I expected, and I think much better than anybody here expected.
And
Why
and
are
the
you not on the phone
tonality
now?
was so much better.
Yeah, it really was. Why are you not on the phone now? No, like I'm asking, like, what did you? Is there a reason why you haven't been calling in the past, or like, did you have a bad experience with it, or you just didn't know, or like?
I've had other scripts, but this script maybe I can get through because it's quick, it's easy, you're not asking for a lot. And then then we have the propaganda, then they'll put me in a
Right.
stronger position for the next call. So I want to give this a try.
That's what it's all about. It's about the position for the next call. You're going from cold to warm so that you can go from warm to warmer so that you can go from warm to close. Going from cold to close is very hard. If you go step by step, though, it's pretty easy. But yeah, that's shockingly good. Really. And I'm not
Yeah.
just
Now,
saying that
Cindy,
to be nice because I'm not nice usually. It's
yeah.
really good.
Let me ask you something, Cindy. If you did this and you called 100 people and you did just this, do you think you'd be able to close at least one of them?
Yes.
Just doing this?
Yes.
Good.
Cindy, if you did
You
this
could
to
probably
100 people, you'd have 30 people that are willing to take leads from you tomorrow afternoon. I promise you. You would have 30 people that are taking leads from you tomorrow afternoon. And once you have those 30 people, 15 of those people that you send leads to are going to actually close the lead. And you're going to have 15 people that already made money from your services in like a couple weeks. Those people will all buy from you. Because you're seriously, like, you're really good. And I don't say that often. Now, I don't want to be, listen, don't get too egotistical on me this early. We just met. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm
But-
listening to your tape, so.
Right. Yeah. No, like, I don't want to take the relationship too far just yet. But here's the thing. You're really good at what you do, like, for the stage that you're at, right? You have a lot of things that you got to work on and all that stuff. But what you have now is you have the structure down. So now all you need is call time. Right? A lot of times I have to focus so much on getting the structure down. People are all over the place. You have the structure. Now all you have to do is say it over and over and over. I've been saying it for 24 years. So I'm just like, boom, I know it. You got to say it over and over and over again. After you do that 200 or 300 times, this is a short pitch. So 200 or 300 times, you're going to be able to do it without even looking at it. And you're going to know all the comebacks really quick. You're going to be on point, and you're going to be getting people like crazy. And with this pitch, 200 or 300 times, I don't know if you're doing this full time or not, but 200 or 300 times should be no more than 7 hours of call time.
Well, it's a good
Cindy,
pitch.
you're getting a standing ovation from everybody in the room here. So you're doing really well. And I mean, you guys that are not Cindy, that are listening to this, if you did the same thing, do you think you can close at least one deal if you made 100 calls just like that? I mean, come on, this is exciting stuff. I'm pumped for Cindy.
All right, if anyone else wants to come on, raise your hand. Cindy, you want to go tough on me?
Okay, I'll try.
Okay, yeah, just listen. I always tell people, just say whatever comes to mind. Like, whatever it is, just whatever.
Okay.
And then it's an experiment, right? I have no idea what I'm going to say. I have no idea what I'm going to do, but you'll just learn how I handle it. So go ahead, answer.
Hello,
Yeah, hi, is this Cindy?
this is Cindy.
Cindy, this is Kenny. The reason why I'm calling you is because I have an idea I wanted to run by you real quick. And to be honest,
Wait a minute, Kenny, where are you calling from?
Sure, go ahead. I'm actually calling from New York, and the reason why I was calling you is
Can I
because
stop you right there? Because I do
Sure.
have a meeting coming up.
Okay, that's fine. I'm only going to be about 10 seconds, and if you just let me finish, we'll be over real quick. So I have this thing that I wanted to share with you. I don't even know if I could do it or not, but basically, I can generate leads for plumbers inside of Dallas, Texas. I just wanted to send one your way.
How do you generate the leads, Kenny?
Number of different ways. Would you be able to serve one if I could send it to you?
You know, what's this all about? I have
Cindy,
a lot of
Cindy,
people that call me.
you have a lot of people that call you, but you never had me call you. Let me ask you a question. Do you want to make more money or not? Because if you do, we should continue
Everybody wants to
talking.
make more money.
Okay, good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a qualified prospect to your door that wants to buy plumbing services from you. I'm going to do it in about the next 3 weeks to a month. Does that sound good?
Is there a catch, Kenny? What's a catch?
There's no catch at all. Do you want the lead or not?
Oh, I'm always looking for more leads.
Okay, good. What I want you to do is grab a pen. You have a pen handy?
You know, I might have to talk to my business partner about this.
That's fine. You can talk to your business partner for the next 3 weeks because it's not going to come for 3 weeks. So you have a pen? You don't have to talk to him about a pen, do you? Because if you do, then you
What do
should
I have to write
renegotiate
down?
your contract with your partner, don't you think?
What do I have to write down with the pen?
Just write. Do you have a pen with you right now?
I do.
Okay, good. Write down my name, just in case you need to call me or whatever. My name is Kenny.
All right. Well, why don't you just send the lead and call me?
Well, what if you need to get in touch with me? Cindy, are you mad at me or something? I'm asking you a question. Like, really, are you mad? Seriously,
You know,
did I
my
say something that
secretary
offended you?
usually takes these calls. I don't know how you got through her.
Right. Your secretary usually takes these calls, but she couldn't get me because I'm good. That means I'm important. Kenny.
Could you send me an email with the information?
Sure, but it's going to take you longer to write down my email address, right?
Well, you have my email. Why don't you just send me?
Okay, fine. You want to do email addresses? Fine. My email address. You ready? Kenny.
I'll just take your phone number.
Cannon. Okay, my phone number. You want to write it down?
All right.
1-000-000. You got it?
I do. Okay.
What number is that, Cindy?
0000.
No, you missed one of them. There's a 1 in front. That number is $1 million. That's the amount of business I'm going to put on your board in the next 12 months when we work together.
That would be
I'll call
really
you in a
good.
month. Okay, so it's really just, again, it's with experience. You got to battle it out. All that stuff I just said was off the cuff. None of it was scripted, and I just
Ran
came
out
up
of
with it as I
objections.
went along. Yeah, that's basically how you got to do it. I mean, you got to, we call it boxing and closing. You just knock them out as they come, deflect what you can deflect. It's very rare you're going to have a call like that on something as simple as this, but you never know, right? And that kind of stuff for me is fun. I like doing that. So, but again, it's rare. You're not going to have something that detailed on this script. And you're not going to have something like I gave you either. I was rough on you too. You're not going to really experience that with a script like this. So, but again, it's better that you train harder and the calls are easier as opposed to training easy and having the calls harder. So that's why I like to do it that way. All right, Cindy, we're going to send you back into the abyss here. And then we're going to bring somebody else on. That was absolutely really, really good.
Thanks
was
a lot,
awesome.
guys. I appreciate the practice.
Thanks, Cindy.
Thank you.
All right, so who's next?
That's like the most entertaining thing I've ever heard.
What did you think about the $1 million thing? I totally made that up off the top of my head.
That was great.
That was phenomenal.
I was like, is she going to actually go for the whole 100 phone number thing or no? I didn't know. All right, who else wants to come
I was
on?
on mute laughing my butt off, man.
Clapping from Australia. All right, Manny wants to come on. Let's bring him in. All right, Manny, you're up whenever you're ready. All right, Manny, say something. See if we can hear you. Lee, can you hear him or no? I can't hear him.
Cannot. unfortunately.
All right, guys. So anybody else? Manny's having audio problems. If anybody else has anything, we'll answer them quick. If not, we can end it there. Manny says, I like the role playing, learning a lot. Yeah, I want to role play with all of you guys. That sounds a little weird, but I do. I want to get on calls with you guys and simulate it and, you know, work it out. That's how you guys are going to learn.
About the problems, man. Hopefully next week we can get on Zoom and do this.
Yeah, Zoom is a lot better. Problem with it though is that they limit the amount. Well, it's not a problem for this, but they limit the amount of people. So for like a webinar.
Yeah, for like a webinar. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, they have the web, but it's already paid for Webinar Jam.
Yeah, that was a waste. Oh, Manny, we can hear you. Did you just? I just heard him.
Manny, turn your volume up. I think that was maybe it's a volume problem.
I can hear you, but it's very low.
Hey, Manny, I don't know if you have a Windows or a Mac. If you have a Windows, then you need to adjust the microphone at the bottom right next to the clock. Adjust the microphone volume.
All right, Manny, we can't hear you.
Okay, yeah, your mic's not working. Mike, no, you know what? I did not get your emails. So I keep wondering why you haven't been responding to me, but I guess that's why.
Could be why.
Yeah. If you can send whatever. Oh, there it is. You're in spam.
Yeah, your mic's not working. Okay, that's all right, Manny. Get it fixed for next week.
Okay. Yeah, Mike, it is in my spam folder. I'm really sorry, man. I totally missed it. So you and I will get it set up.
All right, guys. Any other questions? Anyone else want to talk? We're here.
Yeah, I mean this is like a master class on using the phone. I don't know if you guys watch like, huh? I don't know if you guys watch cooking shows or anything like that. Like I watch Gordon Ramsay all the time, and when he demonstrates how he cooks, it's like so effortless. It's amazing to watch. It's like that.
Listen, I hate to brag, which usually means I'm going to brag. I'm really good at this stuff. I'm not good at much. That's the first thing I'll tell you. But when it comes to the telephone, I've made my entire living on the telephone. I've made my entire living through selling over with my voice, because I made a lot of money on webinars too. But it's basically the same thing. I'm just doing it to a group instead of one person. But this is what I know best. So, I mean, this is just the first step in the process. We're going to do a lot more phone stuff, but this is the most important step in my opinion, because if you can't get leads in, you can't go from cold to warm. You're never going to be able to close deals. I can't even help you with that if you can't bring prospects in. So if you guys maybe you guys think this is too easy or whatever, but if you guys have any issues with this, then, the rest of the stuff's going to be really hard. How are you going to ask someone for $2,500 a month if you can't ask them if they'll even take a lead from you? It just doesn't make any sense. You got to be able to get through this step first. Haley, your boy from Washington got his 1,000 1,000th point tonight.
Amazing. I remember when he was drafted, I literally shed a tear when he was drafted because the Caps were so bad for so long.
That was right before the Crosby draft, right?
It was the year
A
before.
after. The year before, yeah. Malkin was number 2.
Yep.
All right, guys. Any other questions? I guess we're done. Right? We're good. And if you guys have any
We're
other
good.
questions or whatever, you can shoot us an email. And if not, we will see you next week. Cindy, hit the phones. David, you too. Today, right? Let us know how you guys do. Have a good
Bye,
night,
guys.
guys.